Hello, how are you guys? My name is Monica and this is my introduction. Basically, this is going to be about like my life story and like my past growing up. I don't want to really get into details about like anything now or whatever because that's like 26 years of explaining, but I'm going to start from when I was young. Okay, so I started from a really hard past, had to like grow up and be mature really early when I should have. I had very abusive parents, both my mom and my dad, and they were abusive in different ways and similar ways. My mom was verbally abusive and physically abusive, and my dad was also both the same, and he was never really in my life, so he would come and go. When I was a little girl, my sister and I got sexually harassed by a neighbor, which was a friend, and we were being babysat one day, and basically the babysitter that my mom had hired had brought him in to watch us, and he was with his brother. So I was with my sister named Ebony, and my older sister named is Cassandra. She was in the bedroom with his brother, and he had told us to come here, because he wanted to show us something. And I was about, I think, 7 years old, and she was like 7, 6, 5, like 4, like 5, something like that. But we went to the room and it was dark, and he just whipped his dick out, and he was like touch it and stuff, and it was pretty scarring. Like I remember exactly how it looked, and I remember everything, and I was a victim, and I was so young that I didn't know it was wrong, and I thought it was okay, and my sister and I just went along with it, and I didn't know how bad it was until it got really bad. And one day I woke up from sleep, and I was on my bunk bed. I remember in the room, and I was upstairs with my sisters and my siblings, and we had cops waking us up with flashlights, just shining the fucking lights in our face. And I'm just like, trying to sleep, and they were asking us all these questions about like this guy, and I don't even know this guy's name. I just know that his nickname is Black. So that's all I ever really knew about him. I don't know how he looks or anything. But it's like a whole... After that was pretty much a blur. But I used to go back and forth with my parents. And, it was weird being around my dad. Like I said, he wasn't really in my life, so I didn't know him. And one day, I woke up... Wait, rewind. Okay, so one day, after the cop thing with the flashlights, I woke up, and the cops were here again, at the house, harassing us, asking all these fucking questions, and they just literally pulled us out the fucking house and threw us into our dad's car, my older sister and I, and locked the doors, and he just drove off with us. I didn't know what was going on, and I was so confused. I didn't want to go with him. I don't even know this guy. That just happened to me with another guy. So I don't want to be around people that I don't even fucking know right now. Hell, I didn't even really want to be where I was, like, with my mom, because it all happened and everybody was just always making me feel like I was a burden. So growing up, it was really tough for me to have that trauma on me. But one day I knew I had to suck it up, and I eventually did. It made me more mature, and I try to be optimistic about it. But I feel like it makes me have a lot of trust issues. But that's like all I can really remember. A lot of my past was a blur. I remember like we had a psychiatrist, my older sister and I, and like my dad put us in psychiatrist classes. I don't even know how many fucking schools I went to because I was going so many places. My mom always moved, and then it was just so much. Like after that, after all that happened, everything else was a blur. And then I just remember living in Bowie. Everything was good in Bowie. That's when I was like in middle school, and things were looking up. My mom was really nice. I finally felt like I had the freedom. Oh my god, there's the beach. Okay, whatever. Oh my god, okay, so like, damn, that bee made me fucking lose my track. But like, okay, so my mom was really nice, and then I just like out of nowhere we're told we had to move out of Bowie because the landlords wanted their house back, and it was just like a lot of stress. Like I never was able to relax my whole life growing up, and just like it was dark. It was dark. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I always wanted to fucking kill myself, but I was just too scared to. I used to like get my nails and scrape my fucking wrist because I needed to like feel some type of pain somewhere else besides inside of me. And it was just like really bad. And then, you know, I got older and I started raving once that happened. Like once we moved out of Bowie, we moved to Fort Washington, Maryland, and then I started raving a lot. I started raving hard. I started partying hard, and I was doing so much drugs. Like literally, I was doing so much drugs with my friends. I was doing coke. I was doing Molly. I was doing like LSD. I didn't do anything like heroin or whatever, but the fact that I was like that deep into my depression because like I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I was trying to run away from everything. It was just really hard for me, and I finally like woke up to reality and stopped doing it. But it's just sad how I was always forced to do things I didn't want to do, and I was always forced to be somewhere I didn't want to be. And when I say my parents were abusive, my dad used to just whip us with belts, and my mom, she was mad that my dad took us. So instead of her trying to make me a better person, she'd use me as a revenge doll. So she'd tell me to literally go to my dad's house and get a fucking marker and write on the walls. And I didn't know any better. I'm just a kid. So I got a fucking marker and I was at my dad's house and I wrote on the fucking wall. And I remember it like it was yesterday. He pulled me into the room and just beat the fuck out of me with the belt. And it was like a leather belt with like a fucking silver, you know, like the silver square things on the end of the belt. I don't know what it's called, the loophole thing, whatever. But he just beat me with that. And my mom, like, she just got so mean and bitchy out of nowhere and fucking crazy. Like, she would throw things at me. She literally would like hit my hands with anything that was beside her. Hangers, combs, remote. She used to get like switches off of trees and beat me with them. And I feel like I had it more rough than my siblings, and a lot of us can't relate, and a lot of like them don't understand that because they were never who I was to my mom. She never liked me, and I don't know if it's because I resemble my dad and maybe that's why she doesn't like me, but I was just never loved by either one of them. So I had to teach myself to just love myself. And it's not fair that I have to be that for myself and I can't go to them for anything because they're not there. Like, my mom had, when I moved out, I live in my own apartment with my husband and I have a daughter. Her name is Karma. She's 9 months. I moved out 3 years ago, and she literally told me, you know what, when you move out, like, I'm not your mother anymore. And I was like, what? Like, that really hurt me. And then I remember she called Ebony, my sister, the one that got sexually harassed with me, she called her her favorite daughter. So, I mean, I already knew that, but at the time it hurt me because I was still living there and I didn't want to be around someone that, you know, didn't really care about me. So I felt trapped. I felt like I wanted to escape. I had no escape besides raves because that's the only place where I felt accepted. But even that got dark because a lot of people there were like really mean. Like, I used to go to these events hosted by Chad Bozzarelli, and his events are called Badass Raves. And I remember I was just like trying to find myself and trying to create myself. And I went to go make a go-go troop, and it was called Cuddle Puddles. And they were making fun of me and they were calling me names, and I was being bullied again. And I just grew up being bullied so much that it became the norm, that I was so used to being hurt. But they laughed at me, and I didn't let it defeat me, but it did bring me into a deep depression. And then I actually got fucked over by my coworker who I was having the team with. Her name was Jamily, and you know, she completely just turned against me. I don't even know what happened, and she claims that I failed, and I didn't fail at anything if you took something away from me that I created. So I didn't fail anything. You didn't even give me this chance to fail. I love failing. So when I fail, it teaches me to get back up and to like work even harder. So the fact that, you know, she said I fell and she wanted me to fail, that's what she wanted on me. But I have even better news for you if you're watching this, because I actually made a team after that, and it was called Pixel Ladies. And we got flown out to Miami Music Week, and we performed for PLR Music. And we actually worked a lot of other big events too, and I'm pretty fucking proud of that. And of course, Callie Mullen, I believe that's what her name is, she took my team again, and this time I didn't get mad. I was like, cool, you took people who are unloyal away from me. And I started learning purpose, and I started learning that things were going with me and not against me. Everything is a challenge, because life will challenge you to see how far you're willing to go to get what you deserve if you don't take things personally. So I didn't take it personally, and then I just literally made my business called Royal Nation Empire. I no longer do that because I want to do other things now, but it was amazing. Like, it changed my life. Like, me start like learning my skills and my talents. I start like, you know, making myself do things that I never thought I could do. And I was interviewing celebrities. I was interviewing a lot of tour managers and like people from Ultra Music Festival, like really big people that are like kind of behind the scenes, undergroundish, but a lot of like mainstream people too. They were actually like supporting me and willing to like do interviews with me, and it just gave me so much purpose that I didn't give up, because I could have let that one thing defeat me and I didn't. But now I'm just doing me. Like, I'm doing fitness. I feel fucking great. I look great. I'm just a whole new person. The meaning of this is my introduction to just let you know that no matter what happens to you, you can fucking do what you believe in. If you don't take things personally, you know, people are always gonna fucking hate you. People are never gonna like you. They're always gonna make fun of you. So if they're gonna do it, why not just be yourself anyways? Like, I'd rather be myself than try to listen to what people are saying to me, and they don't even know me. Like, half the people I used to rave with, they didn't even know me. They just knew, like, they just knew that I was around. They knew I was there. And in that scene, I don't know if I got popular, but it seemed like a lot of people knew me, and people were always shit talking and shamming and bashing my name when I never did anything to anyone or hurt anyone. And if I did, well, I'm sorry, but I'm just human at the end of the day. Like, you act like you don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You're not perfect, and I'm not perfect, and I don't want to be perfect. But don't give up doing what you want to do. Don't give up doing what you don't even know you want to do. Keep fucking striving, because haters are going to hate at the end of the day. And I'm just going to be me. So you can either like me or not. I don't give a fuck. But that's it for this fucking intro. It was lovely speaking and like sharing a piece of my story with you guys. I hope that this in some way, shape, or form have inspired you to just do whatever the fuck you want and to be nice to people. Like, if you're a bully, you really need to seek some help, because something's wrong mentally. That's not normal, and that's not okay to bully people. And if you want to judge me and let me be your punching bag, then you don't need to be here, and I don't know why you're even watching this video in the first place, because I only want good vibes. And if you're not about that, you're not about me. So, peace out.